Let's start it with our first news. Konofsky opened the main card with a stunning and emotional victory, defeating Ricardo Ramos via a standing rear naked choke in the very first round. It was an explosive start to the night, as Offaly showcased not only his skill but also his resilience and mental toughness. The fight lasted just over a minute before Offaly secured the submission, forcing Ramos to tap in dramatic fashion. After the bout, reactions poured in from fellow fighters and fans alike. Former bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling praised Offaly's performance, commenting on how the newcomers survived a deep knee bar attempt before turning the tables. "How did he survive that knee bar?" Sterling wrote, adding, "Sheesh, great win over a tough Ramos." UFC featherweight Gene Silva also reacted humorously, saying, "You can't ask the crowd to shut up and then ask for a second of silence," referencing Offaly's post-fight request to the roaring crowd. Speaking in his post-fight interview, Offaly opened up about the challenges he faced leading up to the fight. "It was such an amazing feeling," he said, visibly emotional. "Honestly, this camp was tough, one of the hardest of my career. I had to leave my newborn baby back home, which was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. On top of that, I flew halfway across the world to fight in enemy territory, against a Brazilian, in Brazil. I was the underdog, my back was against the wall, but that just made the win even more special." Offaly described the immense pressure he felt, but he also emphasized that pressure is part of what defines fighters. "That's what makes us warriors," he explained. "This victory is a dedication to anyone out there chasing their dreams. No matter how hard life gets, if you believe in yourself and stay patient, you can achieve anything." The lightweight prospect then broke down the fight itself, explaining how he found the opportunity to finish. "I just told myself to be patient," Offaly recalled. "I wanted to find my range, start chipping away slowly, but when he threw that push kick and I caught it, I knew I had to go with it. Next thing I knew, I was attacking a submission as I took him down." Offaly admitted that his team had prepared for the possibility of leg entanglements, but he didn't expect it to happen so early or with such intensity. "A few times, it was really tight," he said of Ramos's knee bar attempt. "I just kept repeating to myself, you're not going to get it, you're not having it. Somehow, I managed to escape, got to a turtle position, and then transitioned to his back. He tried to stand up, and that's when I locked in the body triangle. I knew he had a long neck, and even though I couldn't find it right away, I kept working for it." With unrelenting determination, Offaly secured the choke. "I had one thought in my mind," he said. "If not the first attempt, then the second, or the third, eventually I'm going to get it. And I did." It was a breakout performance for Konofsky, a statement win that marked him as a serious threat in his division and a fighter to watch in the UFC's future. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Mario Pinto continued his remarkable rise in the heavyweight division with an impressive victory over Jonathan Diniz, earning a TKO in the second round. With this dominant performance, Pinto extended his undefeated record to 11-0, proving once again why he's considered one of the brightest prospects in the sport. His composure, power, and adaptability were all on full display as he took control of the bout and overwhelmed Diniz with relentless offense. The MMA community quickly reacted to Pinto's latest statement win. Former UFC champion Anthony Pettis praised the young heavyweight's performance, calling him part of the next generation of heavyweights coming up and adding, "He's a problem." MMA Guru also applauded Pinto's evolving skill set, saying, "Great win from Pinto, we got to see another side of his game, using grappling to win." Diniz, who is known for his toughness, simply couldn't recover once Pinto found his rhythm. As analysts noted, Diniz struggled to get his knees under him after several scrambles, unable to create the space needed to reset. Many fans and commentators now believe Pinto could already hang with seasoned contenders like Marcin Tybura, though most agree he should have one more test before taking on top-ranked opponents. Speaking after the fight, a proud but humble Pinto reflected on the victory and the journey that led him there. "It feels really good," he said with a smile. "I'm proud of my team and everyone who supported me. I came into what was supposed to be enemy territory, but honestly, I got so much love from Brazil. We're pretty much the same people full of passion. I came here, got the W, and I'm happy." Pinto then described the mindset he carried into the fight, emphasizing his aggressive approach and willingness to stand toe-to-toe with anyone. "The whole training camp, we kept saying we're going to go in there and slang and bang. That's what I do, I stand in front of my opponent and throw missiles," he explained. "When he tried to throw, I snapped his head back with a jab. Then he stepped in, and I tripped over his leg, kind of a funny moment. When I tried to get up, he was just holding me down." He admitted that his coaches were encouraging him to return to his striking, but circumstances took an unexpected turn. "They kept telling me, stop doing all that grappling, go in there and take his head off. But then I fell again, got him down, and just went with it. I don't even know what happened. I was hitting him, and the referee stepped in and stopped it. Guess all those tutorials I watched before the fight paid off, he said jokingly. Despite his humor, Pinto was serious about his development and future in the sport. For me, it's all about cage time. Every minute in there is gold. I just need experience, he said. I've only had 11 professional fights, and once you reach the top of the division, you're surrounded by sharks. You have to be ready for anything. In my last fight, even though I got the win, I wasn't happy with my performance. Tonight, I showed I'm a much better fighter than that. With this victory, Mario Pinto not only maintained his perfect record but also proved that he possesses the skill, adaptability, and mindset needed to rise among the heavyweight elite. His blend of power, humility, and humor has made him a fan favorite and a legitimate threat to anyone standing in his path. Move on to another news. In his long-awaited welterweight debut, Joel Alvarez made an immediate impact by defeating veteran contender Vicente Luque via unanimous decision. The bout showcased Alvarez's refined striking, composure under pressure, and ability to adapt to a new weight class. However, the fight did not come without controversy, as many believed the referee failed to stop the fight in the first round when Alvarez appeared to have Luque finished. The first round saw Alvarez dominate early, landing crisp combinations and staggering Luque with powerful strikes. Several observers, including fighters and analysts, felt the referee should have stepped in to stop the bout when Luque went down and appeared unable to defend himself. Former UFC lightweight champion Anthony Pettis reacted online, writing, "We're just going to ignore that Joel Alvarez got robbed of a first-round finish and enjoy this fight? Cool." Analyst Alan Jubin was even more direct, tweeting, "This referee is horrible." MMA journalist Damon Martin added, "Nobody seems to know the rules, but that should be a TKO." Meanwhile, the MMA guru expressed frustration at the officiating, saying, "What was the ref doing in round 1? Alvarez legally finished Luque, and he gave him 4 minutes to recover, not even a point taken." Despite the controversy, Alvarez maintained his composure and continued to execute his game plan through all 3 rounds, outstriking Luque and controlling the pace of the fight. When the judges' scorecards were read, Alvarez was awarded a unanimous decision victory, marking a successful debut at 170 pounds and a statement performance against a respected opponent. Speaking after the fight, Alvarez expressed both relief and pride in how he handled the circumstances. "I feel really good, happy, honestly," he said. "Moving to welterweight felt amazing. This was a short-notice fight since I was called in as a substitute, but I'm proud of how we performed. I'd be happy to do that again." He acknowledged that adjusting to a new division had its challenges but insisted that the move was right for his body and his long-term success. "Going back to lightweight would be too difficult for me now," he explained. "I feel much more comfortable at welterweight. Yes, I might be on the smaller side compared to some of these guys, but I feel stronger, faster, and more natural at this weight." Alvarez also discussed the strategy behind his performance, emphasizing the importance of striking and movement against a dangerous opponent like Luque. "We had about 3 weeks to prepare, but the camp went really well," he said. "We knew how dangerous Vicente was, especially with his pressure and takedowns. The plan was to use footwork, focus on boxing, and maintain distance to avoid his leg kicks and wrestling. I think we executed that perfectly. It was a masterclass in striking and movement." Looking ahead, Alvarez made it clear that he's ready for whatever challenge the UFC presents next. "Luque is a great fighter, very well established in this division," he said respectfully. "But I'm ready to face anyone the company wants. I'll take on whoever they decide." This win was just the beginning for me at welterweight. With this victory, Joel Alvarez not only proved that he can hang with elite competition at 170 pounds but also signaled his arrival as a legitimate new contender in the division. Despite the controversy, his composure, technical brilliance, and confidence at a higher weight class made his debut a resounding success. Move on to another news. Charles Oliveira once again proved why he is one of the most dangerous finishers in mixed martial arts history, submitting Mateusz Gamrot via rear naked choke in the second round of their highly anticipated lightweight clash. The victory, which took place in front of Oliveira's home crowd in Rio de Janeiro, added yet another record to his incredible resume, extending his all-time UFC lead for finishes and submission victories. With this win, Do Bronx now boasts 21 finishes and 17 submission wins inside the Octagon, further solidifying his status as one of the greatest submission artists in UFC history. The fight began with both athletes showcasing their technical skills and composure. Gamrot, known for his wrestling and scrambles, attempted to control Oliveira early, but the Brazilian veteran remained calm and dangerous throughout. Oliveira displayed his trademark precision on the feet, using his striking to keep Gamrot at bay before eventually finding an opening to take the fight to the ground. In the second round, Oliveira capitalized on a brief scramble, smoothly transitioning to Gamrot's back and sinking in a textbook rear naked choke that forced the tap. The crowd erupted in celebration as the Brazilian icon raised his hands once again inside his home country. The win marked Oliveira's 24th career victory in the UFC, placing him second on the organization's all-time wins list, another remarkable milestone for a fighter who continues to evolve and thrive against top-tier competition. After the fight, Oliveira wasted no time in calling out former featherweight champion Max Holloway Holloway for a rematch, this time for the BMF baddest mother ***** title. "Hey Hunter," Oliveira said in his post-fight interview, addressing UFC executive Hunter Campbell. "Charles Oliveira vs Max Holloway BMF. Let's make that happen." Max Holloway responded shortly after on social media with a playful gif of DJ Khaled saying, "Another one," a nod to both Oliveira's streak of finishes and Holloway's willingness to take on any challenge. The call-out quickly went viral, with fans and fighters across the MMA world reacting to Oliveira's dominant return. Former UFC lightweight champion Anthony Pettis called the performance a masterclass, while Aljamain Sterling simply wrote, "Holy Do Bronx," in admiration of the submission legend's composure and execution. MMA journalist Ariel Helwani noted, "I guess Oliveira didn't come back too soon after all. What a G." Another sub, Derek Brunson, also praised the Brazilian's dominance, saying, "Charles Oliveira cooks Gamrot at home in Rio. Gamrot looked confident all week and thought he had the advantage. I guess he did until he didn't." Former middleweight champion Chris Weidman congratulated Oliveira for bouncing back after his recent setback. "Big congrats to Charles Oliveira. Awesome to see him do that in his home country, especially coming off the loss he had," Weidman wrote. UFC Hall of Famer BJ Penn called Oliveira the most exciting fighter in the business, while Henry Cejudo playfully stirred the matchmaking pot by suggesting a series of potential future bouts: Topuria vs Gaethje, Oliveira vs Patty, and Sarukian vs Hooker. For Oliveira, this victory was more than just another addition to his legendary record. It was a statement that he remains a top contender and one of the most dangerous finishers in the lightweight division. His blend of elite jiu-jitsu, improved striking, and relentless pace continues to set him apart from his peers. As the Rio crowd roared in approval, it was clear that Charles Do Bronx Oliveira is not just back, he's better than ever, and once again hunting for gold and glory inside the UFC Octagon. Move on to another news. Former flyweight champion Deiveson Figueiredo earned a hard-fought split decision victory over Montel Jackson in an intense 3-round battle that tested both men's skill, endurance, and determination. Competing in front of his passionate home crowd, Figueiredo showcased his trademark aggression and heart, reminding fans why he remains one of the most respected and dangerous fighters in the sport. From the opening bell, the fight was competitive, with both athletes finding moments of success. Jackson's reach and sharp boxing gave Figueiredo problems early, but the Brazilian answered with powerful counter-strikes, heavy leg kicks, and his relentless forward pressure. As the fight progressed, the exchanges became more tactical, with each man trying to impose his style. By the end of the second round, analysts and fans were divided on the scorecards. Terrence McKenna, watching live, tweeted that the fight was tied up going into the final round, setting up a dramatic finish for both competitors. In the third round, Figueiredo turned up the intensity. Feeding off the energy of the Brazilian crowd, he pushed forward with crisp combinations and controlled the center of the octagon. Jackson continued to fight back valiantly, using his jab and footwork to create space, but Figueiredo's pressure and volume appeared to sway the judges. When the final horn sounded, both men raised their hands in confidence, knowing they had delivered an outstanding performance. Ultimately, the judges awarded the bout to Figueiredo via split decision, a testament to how closely contested the fight truly was. The victory marked a strong comeback for Figueiredo, who had been seeking to re-establish momentum after recent challenges in his career. Former two-division champion Henry Cejudo praised the performance, writing, "29-28 Figgy. Great way to bounce back in front of his home crowd." The MMA community echoed the sentiment, recognizing both fighters' efforts. MMA Roasted humorously commented, "That was the best sparring match I've seen in years," while Aljamain Sterling applauded the grit displayed inside the cage, saying, "Wow, big congrats to Figgy. Really tough fight. This is what it's about." In his post-fight interview, an emotional Figueiredo took a moment to reflect on what the win meant to him personally and professionally. "This is what it's all about," he said, his voice filled with gratitude. "We pour our blood, sweat, and soul into this sport for your entertainment. This is our life in here." He went on to address the negativity he faced leading up to the fight. "There were a lot of people online wishing me harm, wishing that I wouldn't win this fight," Figueiredo said candidly. "All I can say to them is be with God, be good. I came here to give everything I have, and that's exactly what I did." The win not only reaffirmed Figueiredo's resilience but also his continued relevance in a stacked division. Even after years of championship-level battles, the Brazilian warrior continues to evolve and compete with the same fire that made him a fan favorite. For Figueiredo, this wasn't just another victory, it was a statement of perseverance, faith, and passion. Against a tough and talented opponent in Montel Jackson, he proved once again that his championship spirit remains unbreakable. And with the energy of the home crowd behind him, Deus de Guerra, the god of war, showed that he's far from finished in his pursuit of greatness.